Beautiful people, welcome. I picked a perfect time to stretch. Welcome to another live stream. I hope you're all doing great today. So, basically, just to catch you up on my life a little bit, I slept all day. I had my sleep on track for a day, and then I slept all day. I don't know what to say about that. It's been 3 or 4 years now where we've talked about how Wonder Bros one day going to get his sleep on track, and we're all going to know what time the streams start, and it's just going to be on track, and everything's going to be good, and it just doesn't happen. So I don't know if we should even bring it up anymore. That's why we're here. That's why we're here at almost 9 p.m. my time doing a little night stream, which I'm excited for because we haven't done one in a while. So I'm also going to try to sit up a little bit for this one. Going to try to sit up a little bit for this one, so I'm not so low. Mike, what is up, dude? Welcome. I've got cheese stick grease all over my keyboard. Very nice, very lovely. I made a massive, it was a box of cheese sticks. I brought it in here and I was just eating it and just wiping my hands on my shirt and then just touching my keyboard. I was being a very big slob. You should see how much grease I have on this keyboard at the moment. It is disgusting. Anyway, we're here. And tonight we're going to talk about why your intrusive thoughts are what they are. That is what we're going to talk about. A lot of people experiencing different triggers, right? A lot of people out there experiencing different triggers. One thing really sets this person off while this thing sets this person off, and one person looks at another person's intrusive thoughts and says, why does that trigger you? That doesn't make sense. That's really stupid. That shouldn't trigger you. And then another person looks at that person. You see what we're saying. So we're going to talk about why that is the way that it is. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. What is up, Miller? Welcome, dude. We are going to give it a few minutes before we actually get started, though, because this is, not a typical stream time for me, at least not here recently. So we're going to give people an adequate amount of time to get in here before we begin. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Let's send out some notifications just in case the bot has not. Let's see. There we go. Get those sent out. We'll also go ahead and get our music ready because we're never ready. We're never ready for that part of the stream, but we're going to be ready today. All right. How is everyone in chat doing? Say hello. Let me know that you are here. I feel like this is going to be an interesting topic, an interesting little insight into why the mind works the way it does, why anxiety works the way it does. So this should be a good one. I got a bunch of tabs pulled open on how to fix certain Discord features. That's been an absolute mess, but we figured it out. It took a minute, but we did. All right, I'm going to drop a quick link for anybody who wants it. I'm going to drop 2 links, actually, and then once I'm done with this, we'll go ahead and get the point of the stream going. All right, I'm a bit slow today. So just bear with me. All right. There we go. All right, there we go. So there's some links for you guys if you're interested in checking those out. Let's go ahead and get this one started. We are going to be talking about why your intrusive thoughts are what they are. Now, as I said, a lot of people get kind of confused on that because they're like, I look at other people and they're triggered about things like, I don't know, we've had people triggered over health issues. We've had people triggered over certain situations, like social situations. We've had intrusive thoughts about harm. We've had intrusive thoughts about this, about that. How come person A is so triggered over this thing while person B is not so triggered over this thing? How come person A is experiencing all these different intrusive negative thoughts about this topic, and person B is experiencing all these negative intrusive thoughts about a totally different topic. Are we talking about two different things here? No. We're talking about anxiety. Now, the reason these intrusive thoughts differ from person to person is because your brain, now this is going to sound bad. This is going to sound like your brain is a real asshole, but hear me out. Your brain is purposely going to pick whatever intrusive triggers or thoughts it thinks will get a reaction out of you. Now, there's a couple things that go into this. Number one is going to be how you've reacted to that in the past. And number two is going to be the fact that your brain knows what you hold the most important to you personally, right? So that's why you can have someone who is triggered over intrusive thoughts about health anxiety. So when they get anxious, they get a lot of thoughts involving health, right? And that's why you can have another person who's never considered health anxiety a day in their life, but they're still equally as triggered over something completely irrelevant, something completely different to health anxiety. Your brain knows A, what you've reacted to in the past, and B, what you hold nearest and dearest to your heart, right? Now that sounds like, wow, what an asshole. It's purposely picking things that it knows is going to get a reaction out of me, right? But understand this, while anxiety is turned on, its job is to save your life, right? Its job is to save your life. It's to get you fighting. It's to get you fleeing. It's to get you doing all of these great things. Its job is to save your life. So, of course, even though that sounds like an asshole move, that your brain is going to pick things that you hold most important to you to trigger you over, it's actually a very smart and strategic move on behalf of anxiety. The reason it is picking things that you hold close and nearest and dearest to you, right, that is going to set you off, is because it wants to get you into that action. It wants to get you worried. It wants to get you fighting. It wants to get you fleeing. So, of course, it's going to pick things, right? Of course, it's going to pick things that are nearest and dearest to your heart. It's going to pick things that it knows is going to set you off based on your past, based on things that you worry the most about, based on things that you really can't stand the thought of, right? So it does, in a way, sound like your brain is trying to bully you. But really what it's trying to do is it's trying to save your life. So in order to get you moving from a threat that's not really there, it doesn't know that, but in order to get you moving from a threat that's not really there, it's going to pick something that it knows will get a reaction out of you. And that's why intrusive thoughts or triggers or whatever you want to call them, that's why they're so handpicked. You know, they're so handpicked by the brain. They're so tailored to fit you. That's why one person can think, oh, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, why would that set you off? And another person can think, oh, I can understand that. That sets me off too, right? So that's why it's different. That's why some people have health anxiety, some people don't. That's why some people are triggered over going crazy, some people aren't. That's why some people are afraid of having, a heart attack, some people are. Your brain is going to handpick and then tailor make these intrusive thoughts and triggers and obsessions just for you, right? Just for you. Now, this is going to take me into another big point. That is why we always say here that context is irrelevant. Context is completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter what your brain is kind of handpicked for you to set you off. It doesn't matter what your brain has tailor-made for you to set you off. It is all handled the same way. It is all handled the same way. It doesn't matter if I've got a person that's triggered over health anxiety and another person who's triggered over the thought of going crazy. It's still the same solution. It's still the same go-to approach at the end of the day. What you give power to has power over you. So the same person who, let's say, for example, overcome their negative intrusive triggers over their heart exploding is going to be using the same exact advice as the person who is having negative intrusive thoughts over going crazy. When you have these periods, right, of these false alarms, understand one thing, and if you just remind yourself of this one thing in the moment, it can make a difference. Remind yourself that the brain is purposely picking this topic because it wants to get a reaction out of you. That's its job, right? So if you go into it, now listen up to this part because this is important. If you go into it with the idea or the false belief that the theme of the intrusive thought is important, then you're going to be trying to solve and fight and argue with the theme until you can be reassured that the theme won't happen, right? So you're afraid of having a heart attack. I'm going to fight with the theme that, I'm afraid of having a heart attack. Here's why I won't have a heart attack. You keep fighting with it. So the brain's getting a reaction out of you. It's winning, right? Here's the thing, though. I don't care how long you fight with the theme, right? And I'm going to give you an example from my journey. The theme will just change, right? As long as you've got that anxiety flipped on because you're not training your brain to chill out with acceptance, as long as you've got that anxiety trigger flipped on, the theme's going to change. Even if you do get lucky and sit down and get enough reassurance and enough data and enough statistics in order to say, okay, I'm no longer very worried about having a heart attack. Well, the next time that anxiety is flipped on, it's just going to find something else. It's just going to find something else to send your way, and it's going to handpick it, and it's going to tailor it for you, what might get a reaction out of my person, right? That's what anxiety is saying. What might get a reaction out of my person? They're no longer worried about this thing, so let's go to the next thing. Let's pick something else. This is a part of anxiety being turned on. So if you're coming at recovery with the false belief that you need to fight the theme of your triggers and figure them out and solve them in order to feel better, you're going to be stuck in kind of an endless loop, an endless cycle. Because how many people in the chat can agree with this? If you figure out one thought, you just get another. Let's say you've got a sticky, intrusive thought, and you fight it. You finally get to a place where you're comfortable with that thought because you fight it for so long, and then it just goes to another and another. And before you know it, it loops back around, and it goes back to the same one that you thought you had figured out, right? This is the nature of anxiety. So you've got a ton of people out there who are trying to fight every trigger, every thought, using their thinking mind. And it's a never-ending cycle, because as long as that anxiety flip is switched on, you can bet your ass anxiety's going to pick something. It doesn't really matter whether it's logical, illogical, rational, irrational. Anxiety, when anxiety is turned on, is going to throw negative, intrusive thoughts your way. No matter how much you think you can figure them out or fight with them, it's going to pick something eventually, right? So the thing about it is, you got to get to a point where you're not approaching recovery with this mindset of, oh, I need to figure out these themes that I've got running through my head in order to get relief. You got to come to a point where you just say to yourself, okay, here's the facts. My brain's just throwing some stuff at me to try to get my reaction, right? I don't need to figure that out to feel better. I don't need to argue with that to feel better. I don't need to fight with that to feel better. My brain is just simply picking things that it knows is going to get a reaction out of me so that it can get me moving, right? I don't need to figure it out. I know what's happening. I know that my brain is doing that to try to get a reaction out of me. And then you got to sit back, let it happen, live your life, just have that accepting inner voice, right? Remind yourself of the facts. Okay, I know why this is happening. It's happening because my brain wants a reaction. Let it happen. Let it happen. Give it no reaction, and it'll eventually burn out. You see what we're saying? So you've really got two groups of people out there. You've got the A group that is trying to figure out every intrusive thought and every negative obsession that they've had. And you've got the B group who is just chucking it all under the anxiety umbrella and saying, hey, I know my brain's just trying to give me a scare. I know it's just trying to get a reaction out of me, and I'm just going to carry on. So which group there, chat? Which group do you think is going to get ahead? Which group do you think is going to move forward with the recovery? The group that's trying to fight every single intrusive thought that the brain is throwing their way, or the group who just says to themselves, you know what? I know my brain's trying to get a reaction out of me. I'm not going to give it the reaction at once. I'm just going to ride the storm, carry on with my day. Which group do you think is going to pull ahead there? Which group do you think is going to get ahead in their recovery? I think you know which one. It's the group that's going to just chuck it under anxiety and say, okay, my brain wants a reaction. I'm not going to give it that reaction. It's just picking these thoughts out because it thinks that it'll get a reaction out of me, and I'm not going to give it the reaction at once. Think in the terms of like a bully, right? A bully is going to go for Your weaknesses. A bully is going to go for your weaknesses. It's going to go for your weak spots. It's going to go, they're going to go for what they think is going to get the best reaction out of you. And your brain is a lot of the same way. Now, it's not doing it for the same reasons. It's not doing it to purposely be an asshole, but you get the analogy there. You have to think in the terms of a bully. It's going to go for your weaknesses. So you must understand, and I'm gonna wrap up the point of this stream. You must understand that, yes, you can spend a tremendous amount of time trying to fight off every intrusive thought that you experience, but that's just going to keep you further and further in the sensitized rabbit hole. Or you can start to chuck it under, hey, my brain just wants to get a reaction out of me, and I'm no longer going to play that game. I'm no longer going to give it the reaction that it wants. I know why it's sending these thoughts my way. It's to get that reaction. And guess what? I want my life back bad enough to not give it that reaction, right? I'm just going to ride the wave. I'm just going to float with it, as Dr. Claire Weeks would call it. So you've always got that choice to talk yourself up and remind yourself of what's going on and not give it that full reaction, right? Or to say, okay, I'm going to try to fight with every thought, figure out every thought, try to get to the bottom of this and give it the reaction that it wants. So always those two paths that you can go, always those two choices that you can make. And I know it's easier said than done, but you got to understand, the reason it feels so impossible sometimes, and the reason it feels like your brain is purposely picking things that are going to upset you is because it is. That's what it's doing. It knows that it's going to get a reaction out of you. It wants to get a reaction out of you. It wants to get you moving. It wants to get you fleeing. It wants to get you fighting. So, of course, it's going to pick these topics, right? Now, next time this happens to you, and this is how we're going to end this. The next time this happens to you, the next time you get a bunch of negative intrusive thoughts that are really bothering the crap out of you and causing you to be really upset, I want you to remind yourself, okay? Everybody following me? I want you to remind yourself, the brain is picking this topic because it thinks it'll get a reaction out of me if it picks this topic, right? So now you've exposed the bully. You know why it's doing what it's doing. There's no tricks. There's no secrets anymore. You know why it's doing what it's doing, and you know it's going to try hard to do that, and you got to stand your ground with it. All right? So that was the point of today's stream, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a big thumbs up. We're going to get some music going. We're going to hang out with chat, see what you guys are up. Okay, there we go. My bad. I had this screen set to the other mic, so let's see. What's TJ? How you doing, dude? I've been watching these videos for a couple clear weeks now, and I'm glad to catch one live. I see what you did there. What's up, dude? I'll give up palpitations over thoughts of going crazy any day. See, it's all tailor-made, though. That's the thing. Like, what bothers you might not bother somebody else, and that's because your brain is very smart, and it's purposely going to pick things that it knows will get a reaction out of you, right? And that's what today's stream was all about, how the brain does this. It picks those things because it knows those things are going to bother you. That's exactly why it picks the things that it does, okay? Because it knows that it will get a reaction out of you if it picks these things that really bother you. And in a way, that kind of makes it out like the brain's a bit of an asshole. And I guess you could hold that point of view. But it's doing that because it wants to save your life. So it's got to pick topics that it knows will get you taking action. That's why it's doing it. It's not doing it to purposely be an asshole, but you kind of get what we're going with this. So, you got to understand that these intrusive thoughts are going to hit you so hard because the brain knows exactly how to do that. And if you want to teach the brain that this is not needed, if you want to teach the brain, hey, you can stop sending me this crap now. Like, I'm over it. I don't care. then you've got to accept the triggers. You got to go with the flow, right? You can't give it the reaction that it's wanting. And I think the big reason that a lot of people give up on that so quickly is because they don't get the instant results, right? They don't get the instant results, and because they don't get the instant results, they eventually, quote unquote, cave in and give the brain the reaction that it's wanting, right? So they cave in, they give the brain the reaction that it's wanting, they just reinforce the cycle. The brain continues to send you things that it knows is going to bother you, and you just continue to reinforce those things that the brain knows is going to bother you, right? It can be very helpful to understand, while you're going through it, hey, this is happening because my brain knows that this is going to get some sort of reaction out of me, so I got to prove it wrong, basically, right? I got to prove it wrong. And that can be helpful to remind yourself of that. It can be very helpful to remind yourself of that. Wonder Bro, what is up, Sanchez? We're just over here rambling. I believe I'm developing some sort of head cold or something. I don't know. My voice is just not all there today. And I'm like, I don't know what the word for it is. I'm like screechy a little bit. Recovered 100% from it. You can do it too. Absolutely, Miller. Anybody can do it. You just got to understand the facts, right? It's all about the knowledge, but you also got to take the action too. I mean, you can fully understand everything that we just said about how the brain is going to handpick intrusive thoughts that it knows is going to bother you, right? It's going to do this to get you to take some sort of action. You can understand that on a logical level, but the next time the brain decides to be a bit of an asshole and send you intrusive thoughts that it knows is going to bother you, and you decide to let it completely bother you, and you give it the reaction that it wants, then you're just going to reinforce the cycle. You see what I'm saying? So if it helps you to view this as you standing up against something and saying, okay, enough's enough, right? You're not going to get that reaction that you're hoping for. I'm just going to ride it out. If that helps you to kind of take that challenger approach, so to speak, then take that challenger approach, right? Take that challenger approach. You got something that's purposely kind of picking on you a little bit to try to get the reaction that it wants, and you're no longer going to give it the reaction that it wants, right? So sometimes going with that, challenger approach, so to speak, is helpful. Finally caught a live stream, my guy. What is up, Prince? I haven't seen you in a minute, dude. How have you been? Hope you've been great. I hope you've been great. I don't know. That was just always kind of a big thing for me. I really liked knowing why things were happening the way they were happening, right? So once it kind of clicked with me and made sense that the brain is going to purposely pick things that it knows is going to upset me because it wants a reaction, then it kind of turned things around a little bit for me, because I was like, okay, so this really is kind of like a bit of a bully, just trying to get a rise out of me. And that's the reason it's sending these particular thoughts my way. I'm not going to give it that rise anymore. I'm not going to give it that reaction that it wants anymore. I don't think I'm sick, but I don't know. Probably allergies or something. Probably allergies or something, if I had to guess. You gotta take your power back, man. Take your power back from this anxiety crap. You keep giving it what it wants, right? I mean, that's all it wants. That's all it's ever wanted was a reaction out of you. You keep giving it that reaction to every trigger that it throws your way, every thought that it throws your way, then you're just giving it exactly what it wants. Been doing good, bro. How are you? I'm doing good, man. Doing good. We're late tonight. We're extremely late to the stream tonight, but we're here. Hot tea time, not dues. Oh man, are you telling me that dues is not the cure-all? Oh, come on, Sanchez, come on. Who wants to drink hot tea?
Donation.
Prince, you startled me. You startled me. I just looked down for a second, and that gave me a bit of a jump, a bit of a boost. Thank you so much, Prince, for the $10 tip. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you, thank you. Show some love to Prince in the chat, man. Hey, I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Much love to you, Prince. Here's a virtual hug from me to you. Thank you, dude. Yeah, man. A big one for me, guys, also, and this might help you out a little bit on your journey. A big one for me was also reminding myself that, because you're so tempted to figure out like a trigger or a thought, right? How many people can say it's the most tempting thing in the world? It's very tempting to fight with these triggers and thoughts. A big thing for me, though, was reminding myself that, hey, even if I solve this one, like even if I get it, quote unquote, taken care of, like whatever that consists of, it's just going to find another one, right? So how many of you have sat around and absolutely stressed yourselves out completely trying to figure out a trigger or get to the bottom of it or avoid the trigger, right? Only to have another one come right back and take its place. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, what the fuck? Pardon my French, but really, I mean, so it's a useless battle, dude, because you can have something that's triggering the hell out of you, right? And you're like, oh man, if only I could avoid this or figure it out. And then you do avoid it and figure it out, and you're like, whoo, now I can finally relax. And then literally like 15, 20 minutes later, here comes another one, boom. You're right off to the races about something else. So it doesn't matter, dude. When anxiety's turned on, it's going to pick something to pick on you about. It's going to pick something to pick on you about, and it doesn't matter how many times you solve, figure, or avoid it. It's going to find something, dude. It's such a waste of time. It is such a waste of time. So reminding myself of that, like, hey, I could sit and fight with this thought all day long and avoid it and figure it out until I'm comfortable with it, but it's just going to pick another one. Because as long as your brain is wired to have anxiety turned on, it's going to pick something else to get your attention. It is going to pick something else to get your attention. No matter how many triggers you avoid or figure out, it will pick something else, so you are wasting your time, right? I'm getting a little passionate about that because that is so important, and I want to make sure you guys are hearing me loud and clear. You are wasting your time. As long as your brain is wired for that anxiety to be turned on, because you keep stressing it with the constant solving, figuring out, avoiding, and fighting, it doesn't matter how many triggers you avoid, fight, or figure out. It's just going to pick another one. It's just going to pick another one, dude. It's just going to pick another trigger. It doesn't matter. It'll send another intrusive thought in the place of that one, no matter how many you figure out, solve, or avoid. So you're wasting your damn time. You're wasting your damn time. You're stuck on a trigger right now, and you're thinking to yourself, well, if only I could figure that out, I would be relaxed tonight. And then finally you do. Finally you get enough reassurance to put it behind you. Boom, here comes another one. While anxiety is turned on, it's going to do whatever it can to try to get your attention. So you're wasting your time trying to fight with all these thoughts. In fact, not only are you wasting your time, but that's what's keeping you so stressed, and that's what's keeping you from recovery. You're giving the brain the reaction that it wants, right? Good evening, Wonder Bro. What is up, Brett? Hope you're having a great, lovely evening. Let me scroll up a little bit. Charles, what's up, dude? So glad I came back to your stream. I wanted to ask, my intrusive thoughts seem to provoke things that frighten me, like physical symptoms or vice versa. Would acceptance be the way to go? Absolutely. Intrusive thoughts will spark physical symptoms in you. That is their job. That's what they do. That is normal for everyone, right? That is normal for everyone. Intrusive thoughts do spark the false alarm, so to speak. They do spark the anxiety symptoms. You don't have to do anything to make the false alarm go away. The more you try to do something, the more stressed out you become, and that's the cycle. Hot tea with honey and gargling salt water can help as well. Can you guys hear what I'm talking about though? Like I don't think you can hear, my stuffy nose all that well, but can you hear like my voice? It's like I don't know. It's like scratchy. It's like scratchy a little bit. Can you have physical symptoms before thought? Absolutely. Absolutely. Or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. The advice doesn't change whether you experience symptoms that, first or thoughts first, or at some point you have to stop adding the fight. And the fight is all of the mental oh no's and let me figure this out and I don't want to feel this and so forth and so on. Eventually you have to stop adding that part. Doesn't really matter what comes first, the chicken or the egg, so to speak, right? But you eventually have to stop adding the fight. And how you can do that, a good way to do that is to remind yourself why it's even happening to begin with. Oh yeah, this is happening because my brain wants a reaction, and I'm not going to give it one, right? Because that's what that little prick wants. And I'm going to be an asshole and not give it what it wants because I want my life back. So, that's just one of many, many millions of different things that you could tell yourself to get yourself on board with acceptance, right? Call that the accepting inner voice. But, so for example, if you wake up extremely triggered over a certain thought, you can just be like, okay, I know my brain's doing that because it wants a reaction out of me. I'm not going to give it the reaction it wants. I'm going to go tidy up the house. Right? So that thought is still there, the symptoms are still there, but you're like, nope, I am moving forward, not going to give it the reaction it wants because I know I'm wasting my time if I do. It'll just find something else, so it doesn't really matter. I know that it wants a reaction. I'm not going to give it one. I'm ready to get my life back. And this is how you talk to yourself. You talk to yourself in this accepting way, right? That's one of the two main keys, have that accepting attitude. So instead of fighting with the thoughts and feelings, you're just like, nope, I'm not going to give it the reaction it wants. This is okay. This is fine. I got this. And then the other half of the two main keys, go live. Go do something. Go live your life, right? Positive behaviors. Show your brain that all is well. Put the two keys together and you've got a beautiful, beautiful recipe for success. So it really depends, and I know you guys have different opinions and different likes as far as the approach goes, but it really depends on how you want to play this. It doesn't matter either way. You can take on a more challenger approach, like, okay, I've got something that's challenging me, and it wants to get a reaction out of me, and I'm just not going to do that out of spite, right? Out of spite, I'm not going to give it the reaction it wants. You can take on a more challenger approach like that if you're a competitive person. Maybe that'll work for you better. Maybe you're more laid back in nature, like in general, and you can just be like, okay, well, I know what's going on here. My overprotective body and mind is trying to save me from a danger that doesn't exist by sending me these thoughts to get me going, right? And I'm gonna show my brain. I'm gonna show my lovely brain that there is nothing to be afraid of. And so maybe you want to take a more, I'm laid back in nature, and I want to, just show my brain that maybe that's the path you want to take. I don't know. Sometimes we call that the more aggressive approach versus the more laid back approach. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter as long as you're reminding yourself of what's going on and not giving it what it wants. Then it doesn't really matter how you want to speak to yourself to motivate yourself. Doesn't really matter. I've seen people come in here and have tremendous amounts of success with the more of the challenger approach, and I've had people come in here and have tremendous amounts of success with more of a laid back sort of approach, more of a just talking to themselves in kind of like a laid back sort of way. Doesn't really matter. I've had people come in here and tell me they mix it up. Some days I'm more of a challenger, and I'm like, yeah, bring it on. I know this is false alarm. I'm going to prove to you what's up. And Other days I'm more like, okay, yeah, this is fine. I understand my brain's just being a bit overprotective. You can mix it up. It doesn't matter. Find what works for you as far as the way that you speak to yourself goes. LSD on DMT, what a combination. What a combination. How you doing tonight, Sky? I hope you're doing great, dude. It's good to see you. I hope you're all doing fantastic. It's been a pretty chill day here, despite feeling a little under the weather, but nothing major. It's been a pretty relaxing, chill day for the most part, so I hope all of you beautiful, amazing, lovely people are doing great as well. And maybe I'll take you up on that hot tea with honey. I'm normally not a tea drinker, but for some reason a hot beverage sounds really nice right now. I just feel like that would hit. You know what I mean? I feel like that would hit. And if you were a brave enough soul to suffer through my raspy voice today, I congratulate you, and I hope you take something from this stream for having to sit through that. You guys think it's time to mix up our background here on the post stream? I think it's time. We've had this one for a while now. I want to keep the whole purple theme going on. Favorite color by far. But I think it's time to change it up a little bit. We could do something like this one's kind of cool. I don't know, we'll get some opinions here. What time is it there? It is almost 10 p.m. so a bit of a late stream today. What do you guys think about that? Is that cool? I'm gonna move it down, see what it looks like with everything. That one feels a little bit more less chaotic than the other one. Feels like something is missing now, though. I don't get it. I mean, if we do this one, we can make the chat box bigger, so there's that. We can blow that way up like that. Interesting read today. I read in Dr. David Byrne's anxiety and depression books that he also says it's not mainly the thoughts but the sensitization that is giving importance to the normal thought we have. No, absolutely. I say it all the time here on the stream that when you're sensitized, everything becomes a trigger. That's a very common thing for me to say. And it's true. In fact, I recently updated my Facebook page. I have a pinned post where people kind of go to, and I list all the basic information about anxiety recovery there. I also edited that post the other day to include a list of what to expect while sensitized, and that was on the list, that everything becomes a trigger, including normal thoughts that normally don't bother you. That made the list, because that is true. If your nerves are sensitized and very tired, they're on a hair trigger, and they can fire off over things that you normally would not really be bothered by, right? So that is very true. We do treat it the same, though. We don't give it the reaction that it wants. We understand the brain is just trying to get a reaction. That's another thing you can remind yourself of, that, okay, my nerves are just tired. I'm hungover. Anxiety is really scaring me right now. Well, first and foremost, you are not the first person to ever come into the chat and say I'm hungover and it's really messing with me, right? So the hangovers that come with drinking, especially while you have a sensitive brain, a sensitive amygdala, or tired nerves, the hangovers that come with drinking are not fun. They are not the end of the world. They're not going to harm you in any way. You're going to be just fine. Believe me, you are going to be just fine. But that's normal. I just want you to know that that's normal. It's not fun to have a hangover while you are sensitized. Physically, it will fade very soon. Remember, guys, I know sometimes you're so caught up in the moment that it seems like the end of the world, but you got to keep coming back to this one fact. A feeling's a feeling, right? A feeling's a feeling. Now, let's drop all the labels for a second. Drop all the labels like I feel horrible, feel like I'm being attacked, I feel so bad. Let's drop all the labels for a second and just kind of reflect on those words for a moment. A feeling is a feeling. Because really, at the end of the day, it is. You don't have to attach all of the negative labels to it. That's something that people have done out of habit as a society, but you don't have to. Who said you have to attach a label to a feeling? Why can't you just say to yourself that I feel this way, right? I feel the emotion of fear, and I'm not going to try to resist the experience of fear, just like I wouldn't resist the experience of happiness or excitement or whatever the case may be, right? We get angry, and for most of us, when we get angry, we just go with it, right? Oh, I'm so angry. I could punch air right now, right? And you just go with it. You kind of just go with it. So why don't we treat the experience of fear the same way? Okay, I'm feeling the experience of fear, and that's just what my experience currently is. So you're not resisting the experience of fear anymore. You're not resisting the experience of fear. Just like you wouldn't resist the experience of happiness. A feeling is a feeling. And what you resist, you tend to give power to. So why not just remind yourself that you felt this 1,000 times before, and there's no point in resisting it, right? There's absolutely no point in resisting it. What is this? Oh, this is Dancing Shrek. Okay. I've always liked this little guy. Let's see if I can get him on the screen. Oh, it doesn't want to work. Why? This one's kind of cool. We've got a UFO, so we need an alien. have one without the other, right? I rehearse a lot of scenarios in my head, like a lot. Yes, and when you catch yourself doing that, especially if it's negative, like fearful, worried scenarios, when you catch yourself worrying about things, that means you're kind of reacting and you're doing what the anxiety wants you to do. Anxiety's job is to get you to worry, right? So when you do that, you are doing what anxiety wants you to do. So when you catch yourself doing that, remember that you're just going to go with the flow of things. You're going to see what happens, and you're going to allow yourself to feel vulnerable, right? I keep telling myself to stop being scared. Is that resistance? Yes, that is resistance, because you're trying to tell anxiety to go away. That never works, right? So telling anxiety, hey, go away, stop making me scared, you're resisting the experience of fear, right? You're telling your brain that there's something wrong because you don't want to feel this way, and oh my God, make it go away, and oh my God, I'm so worried about it, please stop. This is second fear. This is what we don't want to do. What you do want to do is say to yourself something like, you're allowed to feel however you feel, and I'm going to allow myself to feel however I feel. Right now we're getting more on track with the correct attitude here. So you never want to scream at anxiety and say, stop making me feel afraid, right? No. You tell yourself that it's okay to have the experience of being afraid. It's okay to be afraid, just like it's okay to experience any other emotion. Just like it's okay to experience any other emotion. You're not going to get in your head and try to solve it or worry about it or figure it out or any of that stuff. All right, guys. I will be right back in just a moment. Give me just a second. I love you, beautiful people. Don't you go anywhere, because we will be right back. All right, my apologies. I told you it wouldn't take me long. So, back to our point here, back to what we were talking about. What is a good way? I'm trying to brainstorm here. What is a good way to put this? Whatever, and I know this is like the most boring cliche quote in the world, right? Whatever you resist persists. Okay? So, if the brain's objective is to get you to worry and fight something, and then you do that, then you're doing exactly what it wants you to do. Now, let's say, for example, you have a thought that's really bothering you, and the thought says, oh my God, I'm going to use an example from chat. The thought says, oh my God, I'm hungover, and what am I going to do? And you say to that, okay, stop. Stop being scared. Just stop it. Then you're starting to worry, you're starting to resist, right? But let's say you have a thought that says, oh my God, I'm hungover, what am I going to do? And you say, hell yeah, I'm hungover. Last night was crazy, dude. Fuck yeah. Now, I'm not condoning drinking. But I'm giving you an example. The brain expects you to say to these triggering thoughts, oh my God, no, here's how I'm going to make this go away. Here's how I'm going to problem. Fuck yeah, I'm hungover. Okay, yeah, that might happen, right? Here's what you can expect if you start to train yourself to be this way with acceptance and embracing thoughts and feelings rather than trying to fight them off. Here's kind of what you can expect. You can expect that, of course, the anxiety will be around for a little bit, right? You can expect that that might make you feel uncomfortable because that's not your usual route that you go. You can expect all of this. But what you can...
Donation.
Ooh, that... Ooh, okay. Holy shit. Scared the fuck out of me. I'll read that in just a second. You can expect that the anxiety will still be around for a little bit. You can expect that it might make you feel uncomfortable to go that route because you're not used to it. But what you can also expect is that if you stick to it, doing what the opposite of anxiety wants you to do, and if you really stick to it, right? So every time you have a negative intrusive thought, you say, okay, that's fine. If it happens, it happens, right? That's just an example. But if you stick to that, what you can expect is that over time they will lose power over you. They cannot withstand the pressure of acceptance. You must understand that fear, whether it be physically felt in the body or taking on a more mental approach in the form of negative thoughts, these things cannot exist without you fueling it. These things cannot exist without you fueling it. That is so important for you guys to understand. Now, I know you don't feel like saying to these negative intrusive thoughts, fuck it, if it happens, it happens. I know that's a bit scary for you. But they cannot exist. They cannot continue to exist for long. They will fade out eventually. They cannot continue to exist. Anxiety cannot thrive without some source of fuel, right? Nothing can survive without some source of fuel. Okay? So I want you to understand that. You have to do the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do. And I've got a great little quote here that I'll read, but let me get to that. Let me get to that tip first and get it pulled up. If I can find what I'm looking for here. I know I got it here somewhere. Okay, fuck it. I'll find that in a minute. Soccer Mom with the $20 tip. Wonder Bro, thank you for all you do. Thank you for your support, Soccer Mom. You have helped me more than you know. I still have symptoms, but I know if I keep doing what you and Dr. Week say to do, I will get better. You are absolutely correct. Can we show Soccer Mom some love in the chat? Thank you so much for the $20 tip. We are on a 131-day streak. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. Show some love in the chat, guys, to Prince for the $10 tip and Soccer Mom for the $20 tip. We should always be so grateful and so thankful for our tippers because they really do help me out. I don't know what I would do without you guys, and that's not me just blowing smoke. That's me being 100% legit. I don't know what I would do without such a supportive community. So can we please just take a second to spam some emotes in the chat? I want to see a wall of emotes for our tippers. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. And like I said, I'm not lying when I say I don't know what I would do without you, because I really don't. I really don't. I'm still scared to smoke weed. It shakes my anxiety really bad. Well, you know, when we're talking about things like smoking weed or drinking alcohol, they're not things you have to do anyway. They're not, you know, if you give up smoking weed or drinking alcohol, it's not like that's something that you're required to do or you're missing out on a whole lot. So I would say if you don't want to smoke weed, just don't smoke weed. Some people would say, well, is that avoidance? And I say, well, smoking weed's not a necessarily a normal part of life that you have to do. So if the same person came to me and said, well, I don't want to be in social situations because it triggers my anxiety, then I'd say, okay, maybe that's a bit of avoidance there because you want to live a happy life where you're satisfied, then maybe you're going to have to get used to social situations. But if somebody comes and says, I don't want to smoke weed because it triggers my anxiety, I say, okay, well then don't, because you're not missing out on a whole lot anyway. It's not like you need it. You know, people need to be able to be in social situations if need be, but they don't necessarily need to be able to smoke weed. Does that make sense to everybody? It gets kind of tricky when trying to answer that question. Wonder Bro, you would probably still be frying fish. I'll be completely honest with you guys. If we go all the way back to the start of this channel, I came into it with hopes that it would become something, but I wasn't really sure, right? When I realized that I could actually do this full time, I was super pumped about it because I get to help people and I get to do streams, and I love technology and streaming and all that. It's a dream come true for me. It really is. So, to be completely honest with you, if it wasn't for this channel and the support that I receive from you guys, I would probably be doing something that I hated. I'll be honest. I'd probably still be frying fish at the local restaurant or something. So I know when when someone tips and I repeat thank you 1,000 times, I've watched the streams back and I'm like, damn, you don't have to say thank you that many times. Like, people are probably sick of hearing that. I just can't help it though. I can't help it because every time someone tips, I'm like, you're part of the reason why I can do what I do and do it full time, and I just love you so much for it, and I'm so grateful for it. So I can't help myself but to just go on and on sometimes with the gratitude. I just can't help it. I can't help it. Are we aware the alien is smoking out of a bong? We are aware. We are aware. I hope that doesn't go against any terms of service here. So, but we are aware. We are aware that the alien is indeed smoking a bong. And the smoke that he is blowing out is the universe, so that must be some really good shit. Bro, I've got bad intrusive thoughts, man, and fucks up my anxiety. So, if you're new here, because I've never seen your name before, so I'm going to assume you're sort of new here. So, I want you to just keep this simple. For starters, what you resist persists. Okay, think on that for a second. Secondly, I want you to try something completely new that's going to probably be a bit odd to you. But instead of fighting with these intrusive thoughts, because believe me, I tried that for years, instead of fighting with these intrusive thoughts, I want you to respond to them with, be there if you will, okay, it is what it is, or something along those lines, right? You're allowed to be there. If that happens, it happens. Not anything that's a fight, an argument, or a debate. That's what I want you to try. I want you to keep it simple. I don't have anything more to say than that because you might be new here and there's no point in overcomplicating this. Do the opposite. Respond with the opposite of what anxiety expects and see what happens. Now, I don't mean try that once and then go back to worrying. I mean continue to do that and see what happens. And if you are new here, I'm sure you'll get, caught up on a lot of our streams, and you'll start to see that the core message is the same. The core message is the same. What you resist persists. What you resist persists. Actually used to live in the same town as you. Oh, okay, gotcha. Awesome, dude. I've been following since the beginning, just never tuned in. Gotcha. All right, so you must be like old school, like back when I was sending out personal invites to my friends to join my channel. All right, that's cool. That's really cool, actually. Give this video a thumbs up, everyone. Yes, guys, I would really appreciate the thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with frying fish, but I just hated it. There's nothing wrong with it. A living is a living, so there's nothing wrong with any job technically, but I just hated it, if I'm being completely honest. And now I get to do what I love, so yeah. If I had to go back to frying fish, I would go back to frying fish. It's nothing wrong with it, but I wouldn't like it. I'll be honest. I wouldn't be overjoyed about it. I still love your old school videos. I tried to do the YouTube shorts, which I know I don't do a whole lot of those. I need to do more, but I tried to do the YouTube shorts outside to give people that nostalgia. of the old school videos from like 4 years ago. Seen the topic today and decided I needed to tune in. Well, you're welcome to here anytime, dude. Anytime. There's more knowledge here than my years of seeing a therapist for anxiety. Many thousands spent with not a lot of answers. I hate that you had that experience. I can't really tell people whether or not they should give therapy a try. It's up to you. But I hate that that was your experience with it. But I'm glad the channel is benefiting you. That's awesome. The old school videos are hilarious. In what way? Was I funnier back in the day, or was I cringier? I was probably cringier, honestly. That's probably why they're hilarious. I mean, I cringe at some of my old videos because I can see it in myself, right? Like, making videos for the first time is a lot like dating somebody for the first time. The first month or so, you're trying to be someone you're not, that you're necessarily not. So you're trying to come off a certain way with a certain body language and a certain tone of voice, right? And that's what I was doing. I was trying to come off as someone, that's, I don't know. I don't know. You get what I'm saying. And now I've become more comfortable with it, so I'm just like, here's me, and this is what you get. Fucking love it or hate it, this is what you get. But you can really tell, if you watch the old videos from 4 years ago, you can really tell that I was trying really hard. I was trying really hard to come off a certain way. I was using a certain tone of voice to try to be more professional, I guess. I don't know. It's a little cringy. Maybe I'm just judging myself too hard, but let's have a meet and greet. That would be awesome. I want to do a book and I want to do a meet and greet, but all these things have to come when the channel grows a bit more. Because I'm telling you, I've watched TikToks of creators with 200,000 plus subscribers do meet and greets, and nobody shows up. I am not going to be standing there for a meet and greet and nobody show up. I'm telling you. You got to understand, too. I'm expecting anxious people to come to this meet and greet. I don't know how well that's going to go. I don't know how well that's going to go. I can just see myself standing there now. Not a single soul in sight. I mean, don't get me wrong, the old videos do have great information. Like, the information is still just as golden as the information is nowadays. I don't know. I wasn't very comfortable in those videos, and I think you can tell. Streamer, you had a helicopter on the screen and you were inside the helicopter. Yeah, I got a green screen and I wanted to fuck around with it. I bought a whole ass green screen and used it once. And used it once to put myself inside of a helicopter. Oh, those were the days. I mean, I think I still have that green screen. I could put it up behind me, and now that I've got a better camera, I could probably use it and it'd be even better. If you don't have a good camera and you're trying to use a green screen, it just doesn't work that well. So I could probably hang the green screen back up and do funny shit like that again, but then you wouldn't have things like my dope background and my live sign that Sanchez bought me. I don't know. I don't know if the green screen's that cool. I need to get a green screen that's on a like a pull down like levy system, you know what I mean? So I can just use it when I want to. Now that would work. That would work. I might look into that. Oh my god, cat. Oh my god, cat, what are you doing? Stop pushing things. You crazy feline. I've got a cat all over me. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Which, to be honest with you guys, you're probably going to see more shorts coming out. I don't want to overdo it. Oh, fuck, cat. What the fuck, dude? You're pulling my charger out of the headset. Oh, fucking shit. Alright. Knock it off. Knock it off. Oh my god. I'm giving you pets. What else do you want? You're probably going to see an increase in shorts coming soon. Like I said, I don't want to overdo it, but the reason I'm thinking about doing way more shorts is because, to be honest with you, that seems to be the popular thing these days. Everybody is kind of programmed to enjoy short, quick videos, right? Thanks to TikTok. So, I don't know. I feel like it would help my channel grow if I made shorter, videos like the shorts that are a minute long. I feel like that would get people's attention, and it would bring more traffic to the channel, and then it would lead them to the streams. Does that make sense? You carry the cure with you wherever you go when you practice acceptance. You're absolutely 110% correct, Brett. Man, cat, you're all over me, dude. You're very cute and cuddly, but you are all over me. Could you give me a break for a second, please? Please, now is not the time. We're live right now. You're messing up my show. You're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing me on the live stream. Could you not? Could you not? You're embarrassing me. Stop. What about the old school video where you were outside fixing a fence in the snow? I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have no recollection of that. I don't recall that at all, but I'm sure that happened. I'm sure that happened. Or the old school videos where he was practically hiding in the bushes. I know which one you're talking about. I would go around behind the house. That's exactly where that happened. I would go behind the house. And the reason I would go behind the house and do my videos when I first started YouTube is because nobody knew I was really doing YouTube, right? I think I mentioned it briefly to a few people, and that was about it. But no one I lived with at the time really knew that I was doing it. So I was like, what are they going to think if I'm in here, like, talking to them? They're going to think I'm talking to myself. Like, it's going to be weird. So I'll just go outside and do it, so where I've got more privacy. And then I'd go around the back of the house, because if you didn't go around the back of the house, people would just, like, I don't know, look out the window, and you're just, like, talking to yourself. So I was like, that's weird. So I just did videos behind the house. And then fast forward, channel started to grow. People actually started watching my shit. I was like, okay, here's the deal, people that I live with. I make videos now. I got the numbers to prove it. It's not weird because people actually watch it. So you're going to hear me talking to myself a lot, but I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to all these beautiful people. And then I just got used to it. Trying to tell someone for the first time that you do YouTube is the weirdest thing in the world. And I don't recommend it. It's not a fun experience, because here's the thing. What's the first thing that people think of when you tell them that you do YouTube? What do you do for a living? Oh, I do YouTube. They're probably thinking to themselves, there's no way this guy actually makes a living doing YouTube, and he's really cringe because he thinks he's a YouTuber, right? Like, that's the first thing people think when you say, oh, I do YouTube for a living. So it's the weirdest conversation to have with someone that you meet. And I have to explain to them, I'm like, I do YouTube, and I'm successful at it. Like, I have to tack that part on there, so they don't just think I'm a weirdo who's claiming to be a YouTuber and nobody watches the videos. I hate having that conversation. It's the worst conversation to have, because you know the whole time they're just thinking to themselves, this guy does YouTube. Okay. All right, buddy. So anytime someone asks me that, I normally just send them a link. I'm like, I do YouTube. Here's the link. I've got like 10,000 plus subscribers, and I'm fairly decent at it. I'm not just bullshitting you like I do YouTube. You can look at it for yourself. I'm dying picturing these videos. Thanks for the laugh. I needed it. I mean, just picture me out Well, I mean, you can watch the videos; they're still up. But yeah, just picture me going outside with my phone, trying not to be too obvious, thinking to myself, "Let's see if I can make it on YouTube and not look like a weirdo while I do it." People can be purposely spiteful too, and I don't know why. It's a really weird flex, but people can be purposely spiteful over the whole YouTube thing. Like I've gotten involved in arguments in the past with like certain exes or whatever, and that was before my channel hit 10,000 subscribers. That was like when it was fairly new and nobody was really watching a whole lot. And they'll like purposely bring that up, you know what I mean? Like a weak spot. They'll be like, "Oh, you think you can do YouTube," and they just like try to get you down about it. So going from like no viewers practically, and pretty much, well, I don't want to say everyone because that's not true, but several people kind of in my life that are no longer in my life, telling you that that's unrealistic and you need to find something else, and nobody watches the videos. When they get mad at you or whatever, they bring these things up. Trying to make it out of that phase and not lose motivation was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, and that's no cap. There was several points where I was like, I gotta find something else. This is not gonna work. But I would always motivate myself and tell myself, you know what? Fuck what all these people say about how, oh, nobody's watching the videos and you need to be more realistic, and fuck you. Fuck you, and I'll just keep making the videos and it'll work. It'll happen for me. People will start watching. I'll be able to help people. I can do this. And here we are now. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now, bitch? Not you. Not you. How did we get on this topic? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, we were talking about old school videos. I was looking for new aliens. I don't know if the bong is cool for YouTube. YouTube's very weird. I kind of like this guy. Let me save it. Oh, it's not a ping image. Okay. That's why. Here we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Sorry, I'm just messing with my stream a little bit. Making some slight adjustments. Can I make this look cooler? Is that a thing? Oh, that is a thing. I'm sorry, I see your messages. I'm going to read them in just a second. Wait, why is that doing that? There we go. My last question as far as DPDR. Feel free to ask any questions you got, dude. I don't mind. Would acceptance be the same route in your opinion? Absolutely, because DPDR is the direct result of usually too much of obsession. It's a good way to kind of think about it is your brain's really tired, right? So your brain becomes really tired because you're basically using that muscle way too much, and DPDR is kind of like a fail-safe, right? Your brain is basically saying, I am fried, dude. Give me a break. If you don't want to give me a break, I will forcefully take a break. It's not dangerous. It's not harmful. It's just a fail-safe. It's actually a very good thing that it exists, right? Like it's actually, it's an awesome thing that it exists for your brain to be able to do that. So in all of reality, it's a wonderful thing. And you just have to see it as that. You have to see it as not harmful. You have to see it as something that doesn't deserve you worrying about it, and you have to ride that wave. You have to ride that wave. Hello everyone. Hello David. Good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget not leave a like. Are you telling people to not like the streams now? How are you doing, Jen? Tip goal. Yes, we are 20 away from tip goal. We will see what happens. We will see what happens. On DPDR, I remember Weeks saying it comes from so much introspection, it naturally kind of detaches you from normal everyday stuff, and it will lift when you start living normally again. Absolutely. Acceptance will always be the route to go. And I understand that a lot of people say, well, is acceptance, do you apply acceptance in this situation or do you apply acceptance in this situation? And I always say that acceptance is good life advice, not just good anxiety advice, because there will never be any situation that you're in where worry is going to be beneficial. Now, you can take action. Let's say you're getting ready to be ran over by a car. You can take action and get out of the way. But worry is not going to do anything. You're just going to spring into action, right? So worry is useless. Worry is pointless. And that's why I commonly say acceptance is good life advice, not just good anxiety advice. P.S. It's opposite day. The thing about thumbs down, right? And I find this hilarious, which I know you're just making a joke, but I find this hilarious. There used to be like a trend, right, where people would just go on these big sprees and leave a bunch of thumbs down on videos, like just to leave hate, I guess. Not on me, but just in general. And really, it just drives more traffic to the channel. It drives more traffic to the channel because the thumbs down don't actually hurt the algorithm. They help the algorithm. Whether you're leaving a thumbs up or a thumbs down, it's interaction with the video. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of ironic in that way. I always find that funny, like whenever I get any thumbs down, I'm like, oh, okay, so you're trying to hurt me, but you're still helping me, and I find that hilarious. Hey, do the opposite of what anxiety expects. Do the opposite of what anxiety expects. You're not going to feel like talking to yourself in that way, I'm telling you. You're not going to necessarily feel like it, but continue to do the opposite of what anxiety expects. Like, even if you don't necessarily believe it at first, tell yourself that it's allowed to be. Tell yourself that it can be. Tell yourself that if that thing happens, then so be it. Like, even if you don't have full belief in that at first, change it up. Kat, if you don't stop moving my microphone, I swear to God. If you don't knock it off. All right, one moment. I'm gonna have to kick the cat out of the room, apparently.
Donation.
David coming in with the $10 tip, says hope all is well. Thanks for the 2 main keys advice. Love you, David. Thank you so much for the tip, dude. I appreciate you. Show David some love in the chat, guys. That puts us at 40. Thank you so much. Wonder, bro, you haven't done one of those late night hangout streams? I'm in a streaming mood. That's why I'm kind of just like chill and mellow right now and not really worried about the time. So, but David, thank you so much. This might be one of those hangout streams, apparently. I mean, we're already at like an hour and a half. All right, I'm gonna kick this cat out of the room because she is knocking everything off my desk. I will be right back. All right. Problem solved. Problem solved. What are we talking about in chat here? No one hit the like button. Ooh. It's like the weather just allow it to be. You can observe it without participating in it. I love it. I love it. Love it, Brett. Love it. So true. So true. It takes practice to do that. Sanchez with a challenge. All right. Oh, by the way, I've got a mint. I got me a mint while I was gone. Hashtag not dead, just at work. You're good, dude. Hey, I appreciate you leaving the stream running even though you're working. An instant mint. A peppermint, but close. Close enough. Turn your camera on for Mats. our peppermint girl. People in here. I only see 9 likes. Let me see. Let me refresh. We are at 22 likes. We are at 22 likes. It's working. It's working. You and Kate are doing a great job. Only you have to refresh, or it won't show up. I don't know why, but we're at 22 now. I think we've got more likes than people in here now, currently. What's the likes at bi-weekly? Wait, what do you mean? On this stream we're at, hold on, let me refresh again. We're at 22 likes on this stream, and I believe 12 people now. Let me see. Is there a way for me to, that could be an interesting little statistic to know. So I've gotten 281,000 clicks from YouTube recommending my content. Interesting. 35% of my traffic comes from browse features, so people just like searching YouTube. Channel pages, YouTube search, suggested videos, notifications, other. I don't know, it gives you all this information, which is really neat, but I don't know what to do with it. Oh, scratch the bi-weekly? Yeah, we're at 22 likes right now. Learn to speak its language and it will calm down. And you know what language it speaks more than anything? Acceptance.
Donation.
Sanchez! Sanchez! You are amazing. 29, which I know what that means. We hit 69. It's always a good day when we do 69. When Mr. 69er comes through, thank you so much. Show some love in the chat to all of our beautiful, beautiful tippers today. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Soccer Mom, David, Sanchez, Prince, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. You rock. You rock. I like how you say received input from your senses. So when I tell people positive behavior, that is the secret there, right? A lot of people are like, why positive behavior, Wonder Bro? Why do you want us to sing and dance and tidy up our spaces and watch funny videos and laugh? Why do you want us to do this, Wonder Bro? Why can't we just have the accepting attitude and just be done at that? And that's why we've got two main keys right there, because of Brett's comment. Half of the equation is to shut down the mental bullshit that you keep pressing the alarm with, all that negativity. And the other half is because the amygdala learns through received input from your senses, right? Why do you think I tell you to do positive behaviors? Your amygdala is like a little computer. It sees what you see and hears what you hear and blah, blah, blah. So if it sees you running from danger, what do you think it's going to assume? If it sees you visually doing all of these negative things, what do you think it's going to assume? It's at that time where I'm crunching the mint. We are officially eating the mint now. It has become small and weak enough for me to eat. I love Brett's comment so much that I want to give just another example. So let's say the amygdala learns from received input from your senses. What do you think it's learning if it sees you all slouched over, hunkered down when you're anxious, and rubbing your hands together and rocking back and forth? What do you think if it receives input from your senses? What do you think it's going to receive from that? It's going to receive oh shit signals, right? But if it sees you up tidying up your space and listening to some music and smiling and walking with confidence, what do you think it's going to assume then, right? So excellent comment there, Brett. And again, thank you guys so much for the tips, dude. I really appreciate it. Brett's giving away my secrets of why I tell people to use positive behavior. Brett, you're giving away the secret.
Donation.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Kate? Kate, 27? Wait, we might have a false
donation.
What the fuck? What is happening? What is happening? Are you serious? What? 2 tips from apparently Kate of 27. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. My screen's telling me one thing and my notifications are telling me another. We're just gonna roll with it. 2 27s from Kate. Kate, thank you so much. I appreciate you. What the hell just happened? What is that, 123? What? Why? Why? What? How? I am confused. I am confusion. But so grateful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Wow, what the hell? What just happened? All right. All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. That caught me really off guard. That caught me extremely off guard. Show some love in the chat, guys. I appreciate it. Did not see that coming at all. 2 27s from Kate. Interesting. Interesting. Thank you guys so much. Show some love, man. Show some love. Thank you. Thank you. That helps me a ton, actually. Come on, guys. We can show more love in the chat than that. Let's show some love. Where's my wall of emojis? It only takes a second. It only takes a second. We can show a little bit more love than that. Come on. Come on. Thank you so much, Kate. I appreciate you.
Donation.
What? What is that? What is happening? What is happening? Kate 46? What is happening right now? Okay, let me do the math. Okay, now I kind of understand. Now I kind of understand why you picked that number specifically. 169. I don't know what to say. Thank you guys so much. I did not expect any of that. I appreciate the shit out of you. I understand completely why you picked the number 46 now. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I don't know either, but someone under the name of Kate, just tipped 46 and we're at 169. Her daughter probably took her phone. Yeah, you might want to go check on that. You might want to go check on that. Your daughter's probably got your phone and you're going to be negative in your bank account tomorrow. I don't know what's happening, but we're at 169. Actually, I do know what's happening, but I'm not going to tell you. We're at 169. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. The name says Kate, so we're just going to give the credit to Kate. That's what we're going to do. We're at 169. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Hey, I mean, that's what it comes down to. If it says Kate, then it comes from Kate. That's how we're going to play this. Thank you guys. Seriously, thank you so much. Mike's comment reminded me of a video I seen once where a kid stole his mom's credit card and charged I think it was 10 grand worth of Fortnite V-Bucks. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh my god, I'd be livid. 10K in Fortnite V-Bucks? What a purchase. What a purchase. Queen Kate. Kate the Queen. 169. Guys, thank you so much. That helps me out tremendously. Helps me out tremendously. I did 27 to bring it to 96. I don't know what all the other stuff is. Well, we won't let the secret out, but the name says Kate, so we're going to give the credit to Kate. Wonder Bro all cashed up. Well, the electric company will be all cashed up because thanks to your guys' generosity, the first thing I'm doing as soon as this stream goes over is I'm going to pay some on my electric bill. So the electric company will be all cashed up, but it'll be peace of mind for me, so I appreciate the shit out of it. Thank you guys. Seriously, so much. Thank you. That almost pays off my electric for this month coming up. I know people say all the time, Wonder Bro, you don't have to tell us where it's going or whatever, but I feel like you should know. Does that, I want you to feel good about it, right? You're the reason I'm not sitting in the dark. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I know people tell me I don't owe them an explanation for what I do with their tips, but at the same time, it's I want you to know. I want you to know that you just helped me pay 80% of my electric bills, so I appreciate you. You should feel good about that. I appreciate it. That means I've only got the mortgage left to do. So that takes a tremendous amount of weight off my shoulders. And I love you guys so much for that. I'm kind of like the opposite to most people. I do it in the opposite direction. I don't come on stream and talk about typical, but if we do hit typical or if we go over typical, then I'll talk about what I'm planning to do with it, right? But I won't come on and talk about, hey, I need this for this and that, because that's that's begging and that's cringy and nobody wants to hear that. So, but I will, if we do hit tip goal or go over tip goal, I will then talk about what I'm going to do with it, because I want you guys to know how much that you've helped me out. So, it's the way I kind of like to do it. Ines, what's up, dude? But yeah, I'll shut up about it now. Thank you guys so much for 169. That is crazy. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Tony, what's up, dude? I hope you had a amazing day. Welcome, Tony. Welcome, welcome. I'm still going to do my joke. 96 is what happens after 69 is over. You got us to 96, Kate, and they didn't even give you enough time to do your joke. Yeah, better late than never, though. 96 is what happens after 69. Honestly, I thought you Googled that, and then when you told me that that was like an original, actual joke that you made up yourself, I was impressed. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I was impressed. What is an NFT? Can you explain that to me, Sky? And why am I seeing it everywhere? Literally everywhere, all over Twitter. What is an NFT and how does it work? Wonderbro and sorry, I cannot read. Wonderbro and the podcast with Kate. Yes, whenever Kate's ready. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. sharp. I will say this. There will not be another podcast unless it is the podcast with Kate. That will come before any podcast. Burning or itchy skin. I mean, it's all caused by symptoms. So you can experience, I personally didn't experience a whole lot of burning or itchy skin, but you can on your arms, your legs. I got stress hives back in the day, pretty bad on my thighs. But I have heard of the whole burning and itchy skin thing. Yeah. It's a stress response. So, but I mean, at this point, you can run with that and you can leave it at that, or you can obsess over it to death, or you can say it is what it is, let it burn, and go do something positive and make even more progress. The choice is yours. The ball is in your court, right? What you do with that information is now completely up to you. So, in one way, I don't like giving reassurance, of course, but I don't mind answering an original question. Does that make sense? So if somebody's never experienced a certain symptom before and they're like, hey, does this happen sometimes with anxiety? I don't mind being like, yeah, that happens sometimes with anxiety. But if you keep on, right? If you don't leave it alone at that point and you keep on and you switch to negative behavior and you start using negative behavior and you're worrying and, then, yeah. Then it becomes a problem. But I don't mind answering it at least once, obviously. But whether you put it down at that point is going to be up to you, and that's what's going to make the difference. Wonder Bro, are you able to do the podcast with both persons' camera on? So how we do the podcast is they join a podcast channel in the Discord once they receive the role, and they receive the role, throughout the podcast, and then the role is removed. And then I just capture the desktop audio, and that's how you're able to hear both people coming through the Discord. Cameras, though, I don't think there's a way that you'd be able to do that. I guess technically they could turn their camera on in the channel, and maybe I could somehow stream that, but I'd probably have to stream the entire Discord screen, which would look weird. I don't know. Maybe if you did like a live stream, like Google call or something, like I know that's possible, a Zoom call maybe, but there's ways to do it, but I don't think there's a way to do it with my current setup. I don't know how many people would be willing to do that anyway, though. It's probably nerve-wracking enough to come on the podcast, much less with your camera. I don't know how many people would be game for that. All right, beautiful people. We are approaching the 2-hour mark. We have been here for 2 hours. It has been a lovely stream. We are going to go ahead and get our song rolling. Let's see if I can find that playlist. I am burpy. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for an amazing stream. I've enjoyed hanging out with you. I missed you guys so much. Why am I so burpy? I love you. I love you. Awesome stream. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, for your likes, your comments, the tips. Everything that you do for this channel is appreciated, and I want you to know that it is appreciated. All right, you guys, I hope you have an amazing, fantastic night. Thank you again so much for this insane tip goal. I love you, and until next time, as always, stay awesome.
Whatever you want, I'll be whatever you want. Just tell me you love me or not, whatever it costs. I know I'm talking a lot, there's something I gotta get off. Don't wanna be this no more, I don't wanna drink no more. Always gotta do the most, thinking that I'm insecure. Really should've listened more, but I don't, of course. I'm an asshole, I'm a good guy, I'm your best friend. I'm the worst type, tell you everything that you heard right, just so I can fuck on the first night. Feel like I'm losing hope, running from coast to coast. I don't know where to go, this all I've ever known. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No, did it die? Wait, did it die? Wait, did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Won't die. Did it die? Wait, did it die? Wait, did it die? My aunt think I'm perfect, I know I'm not. My mama be worried, I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a phase. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people, my side and my main. Yeah, I'm sober, I'm an addict, I'm a lowlife, I got habits, but I refuse to be average. Really so tired of acting, don't know what I miss no more. Too bad you don't hit me more. I'm bad when I get too bored, careful what you wishing for. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No, did it die? Wait, did it die? Wait, did it die?